Hi guys, and welcome to the next video on my channel. Today's video is going to be on Asha Degree, who went missing on the 14th of February 2000 when she was only 9 years old. This is quite a popular case and I know that it's been well covered, but I think that it's always important to keep covering these cases and keep getting this little girl's name out there into the public. Asha was born on the 5th of August 1990 and she would now be 28 years old. She was last seen wearing a white t-shirt or jumper, a white jeans or trousers, or white shoes or trainers. She is an African American female. She had black hair, brown eyes, and pronounced her name Asha. On the morning of the date she went missing, she was last seen walking south down Highway 18, North Shelby, North Carolina, and she was seen between 3:30 and 4:15 a.m. On the night in question, it was actually quite heavy wind and rain, and Asha was terrified of the dark, so it begs the question, what made her leave in the middle of the night? She was last seen by a motorist who actually circled back around the little girl about 3 times because he thought it was odd that a girl of her age was actually out at that time in the night on her own. But before he could approach her and see if she was okay, she ran off into the woods, and that's the last time that Asha was ever seen. Asha lived at 3404 Oakcrest Street in Shelby in North Carolina with her mother Aquila, her father Harold, and her 10-year-old brother Bryant. On the night that she went missing at around 2:30 a.m, Harold checked on the children, who actually shared a room, and he said that Asha was fast asleep in her bed. At some point in the early hours of the morning, O'Brien said that he heard noises coming from his sister's bed but assumed that she was just turning over in her sleep and didn't think anything of this. At 6:30 a.m, Aquila went to wake the children up for school and noticed that Asha was not in her bed, and so the authorities were alerted and a search was put out for the little girl. However, she has never been seen since. Asha was described as a quiet, shy girl and a good student with a happy home life, and she attended Falston Elementary School. She took clothes, her black book bag, she packed a black Tweety Bird purse, blue jeans with a red stripe and black trainers among other items when she left. Inside her book bag was a house key that she always carried with her, and so Asha would have had to have let herself out of the house with her key, and she locked everything behind her as there was nothing found in the house that was unlocked or anything out of place. 3 days after her disappearance, her pencil, her marker and her Minnie Mouse bow were found on the ground in the doorway of a tool shed at the Turner's Upholstery along Highway 18 on the 17th of February 2000. This was found near where she was last seen alive. 18 months after her disappearance, a contractor found Asha's book bag. In it were written her name and her phone number, and it was found just off Highway 18. It was double wrapped in bin bags or trash bags, and it was buried quite close to the surface. It was found 26 miles from the family home. Near the book bag there were found animal bones and a men's pair of khaki trousers. Another search was conducted of the area near where her book bag was found, but nothing was ever found, and no information has been released by the police. Her book bag was sent for testing, but again, the information has not been released by the police. I'm assuming this has something to do with their investigation. Anyone with information is asked to call the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office on 704-4867-4872. She may have been seen last getting into a early 70s model of a car that was a bright standout pea green colour, and I'll post some of the pictures of what the police believe the car might have looked like. They believe it could have been a Lincoln Mark IV or a Thunderbird. Authorities aren't quite sure why Asha ran away, but they do know that she left of her own accord. Her family said that Asha was upset over her basketball team's loss. It was the first loss of the season, but she did calm down, hours later, and this was the day before her disappearance. A theory on the Trolley Project website, and I'll link Asha's page below, says that Aisha's 4th grade class, which would be equivalent to year 5 in the UK, were actually reading a book called The Whipping Boy. And in this book, it centres around a peasant boy and a prince, and the peasant boy takes lashings on behalf of the prince, and the two run away, and the book details their adventures and they come home safe. It's just a theory, but police believe this may be a reason as to why Aisha willingly left the house on her own in the dark in the middle of the night. The FBI currently have a $25,000, or there's also a $45,000 reward for any information in connection with the disappearance of Aisha or anything that may lead to the conviction of whoever took or killed Aisha, whatever the outcome was. Anyone with information is asked to call the FBI Charlotte on 704-672-6100. A progression photo was done of what Aisha would look like at the age of 24 years old. 5 months ago, in October 2018, police actually said that they found 2 items of interest that could relate to Aisha's case. They've not really said why they're related to the case, but they said that if anybody had a copy of Dr. Seuss McElliot's Pool book at the time of Aisha's disappearance, then to please contact them. They believe that a copy of this book was taken from the library at Aisha's elementary school around the same time she was abducted, and so they want to speak to anybody that may have had this book or know who had this book. The second item was a New Kids on the Block concert t-shirt with red block sleeves. And they want to speak to anybody that may have owned this shirt or that knows someone who owned this shirt. Again, they've not released why these are items of importance, but I'm sure we will find out. Local detectives and the FBI actually meet weekly to discuss Aisha's case. A WordPress site called Asha Degree theorises that the abductor wanted Aisha's belongings to be found. They said that they could have easily got rid of this book bag, they could have burnt it or hidden it somewhere, but they preserved it in double wrap thick plastic bin bags or trash bags, and they buried it where they knew that a site was getting dug up. They believe that it's some kind of trophy for the abductor. They also believe that the pencil, the pen and the bow was set up to be found to try and throw police off the trail. After this book bag was found, actually, the police then started to believe that foul play was involved. Some people think that she could have been staying in a nearby barn at one point, and one user said that the child was afraid of the dark. Why did she leave the house of her own accord? Well, another user actually thinks that she went for an adventure and met foul play. You know, she was quite a sheltered child, she wanted to rebel, she'd read this book in class, and so she packed a bag to go off on an adventure and then was abducted. And I think this could be one of the most probable causes. Some other people think that Aisha could have been harmed by someone that she knew, and this could explain why she up and left in the dark in the night on her own, especially, like I say, as she was afraid of the dark. Was she being groomed? However, Aisha didn't have a computer, her family didn't have access to the internet, so the only way she could have been being groomed was in person. And some people believe that someone that she knew that it was her parents' anniversary the next day and said, come on, you know, why don't we go and sort something out nice out for your parents, I'll pick you up at this time, have all this stuff ready. And it could explain why she was seen getting into this green car willingly. Some people think that Aisha was sleepwalking, and although this could be a possibility, Aisha had no history of sleepwalking, she'd never done anything like this before, and it is a bit far-fetched to seem like she would just walk out and go that far on her own sleepwalking. Although people did point out that stress from the basketball game could have caused her to sleepwalk, but I don't think that this is probable. There were some other theories that I'm not going to mention because I don't think that it's worth bringing the family any more pain and upset than they have. Aisha's family have been completely cleared of any wrongdoing and they just really want answers onto what happened to their daughter. Investigators still do believe that Aisha will be found alive and her family continue to hold out hope. It must be so torturous and horrible to not know what happened to your little 9-year-old girl, and so hopefully by spreading this message something can come out of this. Thank you for watching. If you found this case informative, then please give it a like and subscribe. And please let me know what you think happened in the comments, or if you have any useful information that could help towards this case. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.